Hello, my friend, and welcome. This is your moment. I'm Katarina Miletic, and you are listening to the podcast that will challenge you to think with your soul and believe that your only power is inside you. Hello, Kylie.
Hello, how are you?
Yeah, I am great, thank you. And you?
I'm great, thanks.
How is it going?
It's going good. There's some amazing energy in the group and some really good stuff happening. So you can still join if when you get a chance to look at the stuff if you're
Right.
interested. We do them every month. It just has a different theme every month. That's exactly what it's all about, right? That's why I hold those groups, because people need that accountability. There's really no accountability like self-accountability.
That's
I'm
interesting.
not like pinging people every day, like,
Yes,
I
yes.
didn't see you log your workout,
Mhm.
but people feel that sense of like, oh, somebody's watching, so I better get on.
Yes,
And
yes. It's
yeah,
like it's that feeling of you don't want to let the friend down. I've done a number of joint venture projects.
uh-huh.
I mean, first of all, you partner with somebody who equals your energy and sort of, who
Yes,
you know it's going to show up there.
yeah,
But then it's really nice because you just push each other because you don't want to be the weakest link.
yeah, absolutely. That's exactly right. My husband and I push each other a lot with our health and fitness, because he'll be like, I lost 2 more pounds. I'm like, "Oh."
Perhaps if you want to share a little bit of your story as to how you became an entrepreneur, what led you on
Okay.
this journey?
I have been in public relations for 15 years, and that's where I started my career, and thought I had done all the things that, you're supposed to do, checked all those boxes, went to college to get a good job, got married, started having kids. And it was about that time I started having kids that I started to feel like, well, wait a minute, was that really what I wanted? I don't think that was really what I wanted. Oh no. And I started just praying and listening to that tug at my heart, and working to figure out, okay, if this isn't it, what is? I'm good at my job. I'm the primary breadwinner for our family. So I couldn't just say, well, I'm just going to quit and go, see what else I can do. So I started some self-discovery, got involved with some entrepreneurial things that really put me on a road to personal development, which was amazing about that journey. It wasn't the right thing, but it put me on the right course, right? And really got me started thinking about how to grow myself and my bigger vision and all those things. And so even once I stepped away from that, I continued that practice of personal development. That actually, giving that up allowed me to realize that I also needed to start working on my health. I had gained a lot of weight after having 2 kids, and was just not taking good care of myself. And we can't pour from an empty cup. And that's what I was trying to do. So I just started very slowly, started working out, trying to eat better, things like that. And that had a snowball effect for me, compounded by the personal development, because the personal development was helping me realize I can do hard things. I can make these changes. I can do more. I can do more. At first, that was really just translating into my health and fitness. And then it brought me back to that tug at my heart. And so about 2 years ago, I decided to join a friend of mine who was a health and wellness coach. Who was kind of guiding me on my journey, and said, okay, I'll do this with you. But I really wasn't sure what that would look like for me, because she was a personal trainer before, and I did not have that background. So I kind of struggled with, what do I bring to health and fitness? It's my working mom experience, right? That I have that perspective to bring. And so many working moms don't take care of themselves, right? We just run from thing to thing to thing. And we're trying to be the best mom, the best wife, and a great employee, and progress our careers. And there's just usually not enough of us to go around.
Yes.
And when we don't really take a moment to recognize that, we can get into a really bad place, because we're trying to give 100, 100, 100, 100. And you can't give 100 in all the areas. I talk about this a lot in my blog posts and newsletters, that I don't think balance is a thing. Because
I believe that.
balance indicates this, right? That things are equal.
Yes.
And as working parents, really anyone in life, you can't, if you're working 40 hours a week,
Mhm.
you cannot give equally in all areas of your life because
Yes.
40 hours is already, you've sold that time basically. So what you have to do is just learn to be intentional with your time. And so that's really what I try to bring is this holistic perspective of
Yes.
wellness that is not just about fitness and nutrition. Those are really critical pieces.
Mhm.
As you and I were just talking, for like, you can heal yourself through food, but you also need to have some of that other balance. You need boundaries. You need to know your priorities. And
Mhm.
so over the last year, I really stepped into building myself as an entrepreneur and a coach in that area.
Great. It seems that it's working. You seem really happy when you start talking about that part.
It is definitely what lights me up. I had a conversation with a gal yesterday, and it was just a one-on-one we had booked. It wasn't a coaching session,
Mhm.
but we just had such a great time. She was just sharing from the heart where she was at and just helping her work through it. It's so rewarding because we as women, I think, are in a really critical moment in time where we have the opportunity to change the paradigm. And it's possible, I still have a full-time job,
Mhm.
and my boss knows that I have a side gig, and he fully embraces that and has allowed me. He said, I want you to be a whole person. And so
Mhm.
if I want you to be a whole person here at work,
Yes.
I need to let you be all of you and
Yes.
take what comes with that. And so I think the more people we can get of that mindset,
Is a
um,
keeper. Yes, definitely.
it will unlock things for so many of us. So.
Mm. Because that was like a stumbling block for me. I didn't meet with that kind of personality when I was employed, when I worked in the corporate world. So I couldn't wait to get out of there. And somehow I fell into that, into the trap. I didn't know how to get out of it. And then once I got out, I realized that I was trying to pour out of, either half full or empty cup most of the time, and then when I orientated that in a different way, and when I became an entrepreneur, I became really aware that I'm the one responsible for my mind, body, soul. It became this holistic journey, as you describe it, and it's less of a balance. I don't agree with that word. To me, it's all about harmony. It's about
Yes, that's the word I use too. Yeah.
right? That's it. Getting it all to work together. So the balance can change sometimes, but when you're coming from the place of waking up for yourself and knowing that you take care of you and of your internal world, of your inner being, then you really can show up in a magnificent way for others, because
Yes.
I didn't realize how much more I had to give when I started taking myself into that equation as well.
When I work with women on burnout, and it's like, first we do have to calm some things down, and sometimes things have to be eliminated and priorities and boundaries set. But when they hear that my story was really, I found my purpose and joy when I added coaching. It's like, well, how am I supposed to add one more thing? If I'm supposed to find my purpose, and that's adding more. And it is, but when you find it, you have so much more energy to give to it.
It is not nourishing for our soul, and when our soul feels happy and content, when we know we follow our heart, then we find so much more energy, and we don't have necessarily, we don't gain more time. In fact, as you say, we invest more of ourselves into, but when we do things that we love, somehow that time element becomes irrelevant. It's less important, as if it stops, as if it doesn't exist in those moments when you just
Yeah.
do something that brings you joy,
Yes.
right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I just finished reading a book called The Big Leap.
Mm-hmm.
And he talks about, it's by Gay Hendricks, if anyone wants to look it up. But they talk about this concept of, I think he calls it Einstein time. And it's just that of when you kind of stop like focusing so much on the time and you're in that moment, doing something you enjoy, you somehow have more time.
Yes, yes, you gain more time, absolutely.
Yeah.
Because the clock becomes not a factor anymore. Clock is a factor when you're looking at time and when you don't want to be where you are.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
or when you're suppressing your dreams and waiting, putting them on hold for one day I will do the thing I love, right? Then you're playing with that time element in the wrong way.
Yeah, absolutely. I think time is maybe the one thing that, you talk about what you focus on grows. That might be the one thing that if you're focused on it, it actually doesn't grow.
A good one. I like that. I like that because when we're so focused on things that bring us joy, time absolutely is no longer a factor. I find that, and suddenly there is enough of it. When we're doing something that has a meaning for us, that we have given this great meaning, that we attach the meaning to, and that brings us fulfillment and joy in life. And we cannot overlook those things. We can't.
No.
Because no matter how successful we are, either in our career, in our job, or fulfilled as in those roles that are important, and I'm not saying they're not important. So the role of a mother and wife and so on, friend, daughter, sister, all of those roles are very important. But we mustn't overlook that we need to be our own best friend as well.
Yes. Yeah. Your vision, your purpose is about you. Like, yes, maybe you're partially doing it for your kids. Maybe you're partially doing it for your family. That's a piece of it.
Yes.
But it has to be about you too, because God gave you that 1%, right? There's that special something in you that you need to fulfill. And so that's and it's okay. It's not selfish because that's why you're here.
Yes, I think when you come from that place that you have looked after yourself, as I said before, you have so much more to give. You are more productive, and you can really help someone else see your example and find those elements within themselves. But if we're showing up with half of our light dimmed down and we're not fulfilled, how in the world do we expect to motivate, to inspire, to bring any sort of enrichment to someone else's life?
Yes.
We can't. We only teach by example. First of all, my parents, that is how they brought me and my brother up. They spoke from integrity and often didn't even need to speak because their example was teaching us what we needed to know. And then when it came to crucial life decisions, when I was making a decision at 21 to go and live in a foreign country, which was several countries away from our country, and we had nobody there, that we didn't have a family friend or a relative, anyone. They were actually content to let me go and explore. I came here to England to study English for a year as a 21-year-old because they trusted their parenting. They trusted the job they did,
That's powerful.
and by letting me fly the nest, as it were, they solidified that relationship between us. And that relationship only grew throughout my life with them. And that bond remained solid, even though we ended up living in different countries.
Wow.
Indeed.
That is really powerful. Like for me as a young parent, I'm definitely taking that away. That I think we tend, especially because there's so much scary in the world right now, we want to hold on so tight. We've got the whole helicopter parent thing happening. And that is just like a beautiful example of trust that you've done a good job. And if you know you're setting the right example and doing the right things, like, sure, we're all going to make mistakes, but if by and large you're doing the right thing and setting that right example, then you can have faith in letting them fly the nest, and
Absolutely.
you'll have that relationship. You don't have to hold on to them so tight to keep that, it'll happen naturally. That's powerful.
In fact, it's counterproductive. If you try to hold them to yourself, they will really want to, all they would want is to break free from that, because nobody wants that confinement, especially our children don't need it. I think we need to lead them as strong role models, as leaders. We need to model this behavior for them, to tell them, hey, it's okay if you take a risk in your life. It's okay if it doesn't work out. What is not okay is to give up on your dreams, right? To accept that you cannot reach your dreams. But any way that you want to pursue them is okay. Because as a parent, I'm here to be a supporter. I'm here to cheer you on. I'm not here to judge you and to tell you this choice is wrong for you or that choice is wrong for you. Because God knows I made some choices which were not always wisest,
Right.
but I always knew at some point when I realized, this wasn't something that I want to explore any further. I always knew I could go to my parents and so, ask them for advice, ask them for what they think. Even if I didn't go to them in the beginning, I always came back to them when things got like a little bit like, I'm losing touch here.
Yep.
And they gave me solid advice again. So
yeah, that's awesome. That's powerful. Yeah, I still go to my mom for advice, that's for sure.
Exactly. Exactly. If I go first, then I just don't listen to the advice, you see. So I have this set thing, like if I want to risk something, I just go for it. There were moments when my children were choosing universities when I was like inside me, like, oh, please don't go to Scotland, like, because we live in London. I'm thinking, don't choose a university in Scotland, and that's still in the same country, right? And I'm thinking, what did you do to your parents?
Yes, I'm not to that point yet where mine are almost 12 and 8. But when I think about, I'm like encouraging, I'm like, oh, this is a great school that's just like down the road, and I left. I went 1,000 miles away, and then I came back a little bit closer, but I'm still 2 hours away. So
physical distance means absolutely nothing when you have that strong emotional and mental support and support in every way that they really believe in you. It's great to be a parent. I couldn't imagine life without having this experience of being a parent. I think it has enriched my life. It has helped me to understand my parents better, to see what I have put them through, to understand the sacrifices that they had made to make everything possible for us from the start. And that's something you really cannot fully appreciate until you are a parent yourself.
100%.
And then I grew together with my children as they were growing up. I could feel that my level of maturity and wisdom, was developing as they're growing, because I had to provide that direction for them. In no way was I steering them to go my way, but I needed to show up in the way that I wanted to model for them. So they helped me to grow into the bigger and better version of me.
I can feel that starting to happen. I think to this point, we've been in that stage where it is kind of do as I say. To keep you safe, right? But now we're getting at that 12-year-old age, needing to give him more independence and teach him some of that. And so it's a stretch moment for him and for us.
Those are wonderful moments when they start feeling empowered, and this is really an empowered conversation for all of our friends who are parents, who are moms, who are entrepreneurs, who are thinking, can we do it all? Yes, we can.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, absolutely.
We absolutely can. There is enough time, there is enough energy, but you need to put yourself in that picture. You need to start with addressing those things that are inside you, figuring out your why and figuring out what is the thing that lights your fire. you need to find that passion in order to connect then all of these pieces powerfully together. So Kylie, tell me, who is the person that you feel called to help the most?
Yeah. So those working moms that are maybe feeling a little burnt out, or maybe you're not quite burnt out, but you just have that, like, there's something more that I'm supposed to be doing. Maybe you like your job, maybe you don't like your job, but you have that tug at your heart, that desire to do more, and you're just not sure how to get there. Because that's where I was at. And so having those conversations and helping people along that path, that's where my heart is.
Who defines our life if not us? Who defines our life for ourselves? Like, why do we allow someone else to make definitions? Why do we accept those standards? Why don't we create simply our own standard and hold to that? And it's amazing. It really amazes me always how quickly we find like-minded people when we just demonstrate a little bit of certainty about, like, this is my choice and I am doing this, and then suddenly people pay attention, and they start asking questions. They start being curious, like, can you be this happy? Can you be this empowered? Yes, you can. You can. It takes a bit of practice, as you said. It takes a little bit of getting used to. If this is something that you always and we tend to do this as well. We put everybody else ahead of our own needs, and I'm not saying that isn't what we should be doing. We can look after them, but not at expense of not looking after ourselves.
Absolutely. As women, I think we are naturally nurturers, natural givers, right? You cannot pour from an empty cup. So you gotta fill it up. And, I think there's another, like, I had it always in my head, like, well, I need like an hour in the morning for, journaling and devotion, meditation, and I had this whole list of things that I thought I needed to make time for. And it was like, there's no way I can't get up that early to make that happen. And when I had little ones and I would try to get up that early, they would just wake up. Yes. It was like they knew somehow that I was awake. What I found is, like, take what you have in your stage of life. Like, maybe it's 5 minutes to do some personal development or do a 5-minute meditation, to just sit in quiet. She's like, I probably should be meditating, but I just sit there with my thoughts. And I'm like, that is meditating. Yes. Meditating. It doesn't have to be this like perfect, picturesque what we think we're supposed to do, right? It can be what works for you.
Absolutely. If it feels good to you, that is, it's got all the meditative qualities. So therefore, you can make it into your own ritual, and you can change it, and you can experiment and try different things and see what works. I mean, just opening a window and for 5 minutes just breathing fresh air, just looking at a piece of sky, if you can see a piece of sky, it helps. All of these things add up to our day. But starting our day like that, starting our day thinking about being grateful and being excited to have woken up to see another day.
Yes.
We don't have this given to us as a promise. So starting our day with appreciation goes a long, long way. Right?
Yes. Yes. I always think of whenever I'm writing down what I'm grateful for, it's like, I never feel like I write enough, because I always have that thought in my head of the question of, if tomorrow you only had what you were grateful for today, what would you have?
It's a great thought.
I always think like, okay, well, I'm grateful for a whole lot more than what I'm writing down.
Yes. It's really good to take that gratitude from journaling, that is a good starting point, but then taking it into letting it spill into the rest of your day. So reminding yourself to be grateful for everything that you touch, that everything that touches you, everything that you are blessed with, everything where you can show up as a blessing to others. Seemingly little moments, but there are no little moments in our day. There are no
Yes.
little moments. They're all really big moments, right?
Yes. Oh my gosh, that's so true. Especially as moms, right? I mean, for
Yeah.
everyone, but the littlest moments with your kids are not little moments. Sometimes those are that was the last little moment like that, and you don't even know that it was the last, you know?
Yes, yes,
So
yes.
each,
You really cannot keep up with how fast they grow up. And it's beautiful because the relationship then transitions into having a relationship with somebody who is, adolescent and who is an adult, and that's a whole another ball game. It's really really nice. And if you give them love and attention when they are small, my goodness, that pays big dividends in the
yes.
future. If you want me to extend the invitation, I would like to put your details for your group and link it here in the description of this episode to invite people to connect directly with you. And those moms who feel like I need this, or I would like to check this out, I can wholeheartedly recommend them getting in touch with you. So that's
Yeah.
what's happening in your community at the moment.
Absolutely. So I run monthly groups. And so right now our theme is back to you, but we've got a group of supportive women virtually in a group that just connect every day and share their journey. And so, yes, I would love to open that up to anyone. And we do a different theme every month so that you can really start to get those priorities and those boundaries in place and learn how to get that capacity at a bigger point and find that joy. There's also an opportunity to partner with me, and I offer a mentorship for those who are interested in getting, becoming their own entrepreneur and coaching. There's a mentorship opportunity there as well. So anyone who's interested can look me up at KileyHayward.com. And I'm sure the links will be in the show notes, or look me up on LinkedIn. I'm there as well.
It's just delightful to know you and to follow you on all of these different platforms, because you are very active. You're an active member of the community, in any community where you are. You're a member of my community as well, and I appreciate you a lot. I love people who have this energy for life, because that is what is attractive. That is what brings inspiration to people. That really enriches everyone who comes on your path. You notice that I love that word, enriching people's lives, because I feel that we do that for each other when we show up for ourselves, when we show up for the people we are called to serve. Then we really enrich each other's lives. I'm so grateful that you have taken time to join me for this conversation, and I know this is not going to be the first and last one. I know that we're going to be talking much more.
Oh, I hope so. The pleasure has been all mine. We could have just done this and not recorded it because it lights me up. I love your energy as well. It's awesome to connect.
Every conversation with you goes like that. So
Yes.
I am really grateful. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.